What's good, gang, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Des, and today we're gonna get into a little girl chat. You know, a little chit chat, little girl advice, some tips, some things that I just, want to talk about. Really things that you guys want to talk about. I asked you guys to write into a little poll on my Instagram story, letting me know, what things you want to talk about, what girl advice you're needing, etc. And you guys actually wrote in some really good topics that I cannot wait to get into today. So I think I'm going to turn this into a little series. It's going to be called Dessy Discussions. Corny, I know. But I love it. I just think it's so cute, and you guys will always have something to look forward to. I think maybe I'll film one of these videos like every month or something like that, or every other month. If you are interested in getting some girl chit chat, some girl advice, just keep on watching. So you guys actually wrote in like a good amount. First one will be, let's start from the bottom, okay? Dang, y'all wrote some good ones. So the very first one is meeting friends in your late 20s / early 30s. And I think I may have gotten another question about this. Navigating friendships in your 20s when you're so busy with work and life. Okay, it's actually very ironic that I have this topic because I was just in a group message with two of my best friends from childhood. Like, those are my sisters for life, and we were just talking about how lately we have just come to the realization that it is very difficult to make lifelong friends the older that you get. I'm kind of just gonna talk about like my experience, ways that I've met friends in my late 20s, maybe tips for you guys, and also just some things to kind of like be weary of. Making friends in your late 20s / early 30s can be difficult for so many reasons. I think a lot of people have their guard up, and this goes with relationships as well, which we'll get into later. But I think that a lot of people are very jaded, rightfully so, because they have been wronged by somebody that they deemed as a friend or a sister sometime in their life, and sis just dubbed her. Sis just did her dirty. And so I think a lot of women, especially because we are just catty creatures, not all of us, but a lot of us, and some of us can be very territorial. I feel like we just naturally hold this guard up to protect ourselves, to protect our heart, because we don't want to get taken advantage of, right? Also, I know that you guys know what I mean when I say some bitches just be weird. Like, some women are just weird. And I don't mean weird, quirky weird, nerdy weird. I like that type of weird, okay? No, I mean like weird energy. Like, babe, whole time I want to be a friend, you're mugging me. Baby, what's going on? whole time I want to kick it with you. You side-eyeing me, side-eye, like for what? A lot of women also, what I've noticed is they get very envious of other successful, beautiful women, other well-known, well-liked, well-mannered women. A lot of women get very jealous because a lot of that really is truly rooted in insecurity. I think that that is the second thing, outside of us being very guarded. A lot of women, especially in their 20s, are very insecure because they haven't really found themselves yet. And that's okay. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say everybody, like nobody should be insecure. I understand where a lot of insecurities are rooted from, but for me, it's like, okay, we need to get to the point that we are acknowledging our insecurities and we are trying to actively work through them. Whether that's through therapy, whether that's through self-love practices, meditation, prayer, whatever the case may be, whatever works for you. I think that that's another part of, the puzzle that a lot of people aren't talking about, is how to really work through these insecurities. Instead, what do? We take our insecurities and we lash out at other people. Let's say that you are a woman who is not where you want to be financially, and you come across another gorgeous, well-liked, financially stable woman who may have certain material things that you want or that you aspire to have, that may live in a nice apartment, that may drive a nice car, whatever the case may be. We as women, sometimes we will just be like, why does she deserve that? Oh, she thinks she better than everybody. Maybe And I feel like that's why it's so difficult sometimes for us women, because A, like I said, we're very guarded, and then B, we're very jealous, and we lash out at other women that just because she's beautiful doesn't mean that she has an ugly spirit, babe. Like, I don't know why a lot of people, well, I do know why. I was just about to say, I don't know why a lot of people connect beauty with ugliness, like inside, like rudeness, meanness. Like, I do know why, because there have been some women years and years ago when we were a little bit younger, maybe a lot of bit younger, that because they were the it girl or because they were pretty, they kind of got their way, and so they got to be very stuck up. But I feel like the older you get, you start to realize like beauty is more than just what meets the eye. And I know that sounds so corny, but it's so true. Like, I feel like some of the most beautiful women are just so kind and just so grounding. Like, but anyway, before I get too far off topic, I feel like those are some of the reasons why it's kind of difficult to navigate friendships, you know, in your late 20s and early 30s. But for me, I have noticed that I have been successful at meeting women in my late 20s and actually forming genuine bonds with them, because I just decided to be open. I think that's the first part, okay? Having a guarded heart, I understand it, because I am somebody who has, I'm a Cancer, okay? We are hard on the outside, we are soft as shit on the inside, okay? And that's why our sign is the crab. But coming from somebody who was like that years ago, I learned that I was not going to put myself in a situation to meet people that are genuinely supposed to be in my life. I feel like you need to be open-minded. You need to step out of your comfort zone. If that means going to events by yourself, that means going to events by yourself. Doing things alone with the intent to communicate with other people. I've actually even heard, I've never done it myself, but I've heard of women like getting on like Facebook groups, like local in their city. There are like Facebook groups of people like meeting up and doing a lot of really cool things. Like, depending on what you're into, like there's like pottery, like local pottery classes, and like people that go on like bike rides together, people that go on hikes together, like all on Facebook. I feel like that's another great way to meet people, but I feel like the first step is really just being open to doing so. You could say that you want to meet new people, you could say that you want to make new friends, but like genuinely being open is a completely different thing. A lot of people do not like to step out of their comfort zone. I used to be that way. I hated change, and now I love it. Change has allowed me to tap into a completely different part of my life that I didn't even think was attainable a year ago. So that's my spiel on like starting to meeting other women in your late 20s and early 30s, like how I have. Also, a lot of women need to stop listening to social media. Like, who was that one? I think her name was like Erica something. She was some celebrity, whatever, that basically said like, you can't be in my section, or I'm not bringing you to my section if you don't look a certain way. And I just felt like that was very ugly, very mean girl mentality. I'm not saying that I don't want us to all have upkeep. I do think like as being a feminine woman, like I enjoy getting cute and getting girly and just like, you know, but to basically say like you can't have a friend if she don't match your fly, I feel like that's very weird. I feel like it's very it just limits you. It really limits the potential of friendships that you really can make. That's my take. That is my take on navigating friendships in your late 20s, early 30s. I think that you need to be open. I think that you need to give people a chance, but you need to also protect your soul and protect your energy, because there are women, I have noticed over the last year or two, especially as my audience started to grow on social media, there are women that just want to get next to you just to be able to say that they can get next to you. And like, that's another big reason why I actually think Aaliyah just touched on this in one of her chit chats recently. Like, I don't even really be talking about my career. Like when people ask me what I do, I'll be telling them I'm a PA, and that's it. I keep it there. I do not talk about content. I do not talk about Instagram. I do not talk about YouTube. I do not talk about TikTok, nothing, because I'm just like, I don't want people to have a preconceived notion of me just because I do X, Y, and Z, or wanna be my friend just because of that. Like I want you to want to be my friend because we vibe. Because you like my vibe, you like my energy, and a lot of people do. I understand. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I'm just a lover. I'm a lover girl. Like the same way with my romantic relationships, that's the same way with my platonic relationships. Like I just genuinely love to show love to other people, and I just want the same in return. So I like very deep rooted connections. I hate surface level connections. Like that is my pet peeve. I think that's another thing. I think that's another reason why some people struggle to genuinely build these connections and have these real friendships, is because a lot of people are so surface level. Like baby, I really don't care about what happened in pop culture and love and hip hop, and baby, I want to know about you. I want to know about where you came from. How many brothers and sisters do you have? What's your middle name? Do you like to go to the park? Like that's what I want to know. Kind of all over the place, but that's just how I feel about friendships in your late 20s or late 30s in general. Why I feel like a lot of them do not work or are struggling to work. How I have made some of them work, and you know what I think you can do to make them work. You just got to be open. You got to step out of your comfort zone, find some new things to do. You can't get something that you never had by doing things that you've always done. I think that's how the saying goes. Oh, and by the way, before I move to the next topic, if you are in the Houston area and you like to do a lot of things, if you're a foodie, if you like to go on walks, if you like to go to the gym, if you like to go out and smoke a little hookah, if you like to just kick it, if you like girls' nights in, hit me up, babe. Hit me up. Ooh, piggybacking off of the friendship. A friend who gives enemy vibes but wants to somehow continue to befriend you, but you keep trying to cut off. My love, my love. Okay, let me tell you about them type of friends. Those type of girls are the type of girls that you are all in a room together and like you just feel like somebody's staring at you, like you feel the energy and you look and they're staring dead at you, or they try to look away real quick. Those are them type of bitches. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. Like, oh, it makes my skin crawl when I literally think about those type of women, because they are scary. Those type of women, I am convinced, have a very evil, demonic type of spirit. Those are the type of women that you need to stay very, very, very clear of. So I'm going to kind of just touch on things I already started, things that you need to look out for to make sure that that person, like, to basically rule out like, okay, that's not my friend, like that's a frenemy type of deal, and what you can do to distance yourself and to get them out of your life. So for one, things to look out for, I already kind of told you. They are somebody that's always going to stare, and I don't mean staring like admiring staring. It's more of a who's that bitch think she is, she not even that cute, type of stare. You know what I'm talking about. You already know what I'm talking about. So we have to be careful, ladies. Those type of women are very, very scary. I would look out for that type of look. Too, if y'all are in a crowd of people, if y'all are being social or whatever, and they always got something negative to say about you, they always got some smart remark to say about you, they always got some little jokey joke to make about you, maybe ain't shit funny. Like, why you wait until these four dudes came around to tell me that my thong, you could see my thong through my pants? Why would you say that? And why would you say it out loud? Why would you wait until we got around all these people to tell me that the back of my wig is lumpy and bumpy? Why would you do that? Why didn't you tell me at the crib before we left? you know what I'm talking about. They will never clap for you. They will never be happy when you accomplish or you level up. Like, those women are scary. I keep saying this, and trust and believe from experience, they will do anything to ruin you. They're just bitter, just bitter betties. So those are some signs to look out for. But don't get me wrong, girl. They still gonna be hitting you up. What's the move for this weekend? Oh, where are you at? What are you doing? Or if they see you out with somebody else, oh, why didn't I get an invite? Because they want to stay close to you. Do you know why they want to stay close to you? Because a lot of these women genuinely are miserable on the inside. Miserable. And you know what miserable people do? They have to cling to high-spirited good energy to replenish their lack of good energy. You get me? They're literally energy vultures. When they see that you are a light, you are positive, you are bubbly, you are just like genuinely a joy to be around, they want to cling to you. For one, status. You look good, you get attention, you're kind, people like you. They want to be around that. They want to be surrounded by attention and status. Two, they need that. They need somebody to feed off of and replenish their lack of energy, good energy, sorry. And B, they need a punching bag. They need somebody to just wham after insult, after shady look, after they need that. Ain't getting it at home. Because guarantee you, they are a product of their environment. That house that they living in, their mama probably telling them they ugly every damn day. And that's why they coming out pissed, miserable. I hate to call it. I'm gonna call it spade a spade every time. Okay. Lived it, seen it, not a fan. Be careful. Now, how to get away from these type of women, you have to set boundaries. I have completely just cut off a woman before. A few of them. You could just stop answering their texts and answering their calls. Now, is that the healthiest thing to do? Not necessarily, but depending on the situation and how traumatic the situation may be, sometimes you have to truly do that. But honestly, you could just genuinely tell them how you feel and leave it at that. Let's say the girl's name is, I don't know, Brooke. Sorry if there's any Brooks watching. I love you. But let's just say the girl's name is Brooke. Hey, Brooke, lately you've just been making me feel very uncomfortable with a lot of the remarks that you've been making when we've been out. I don't really understand like what I've done to you, but I just feel like the energy is off. I feel like the vibe is off. Is there anything that you want to talk about? Have I done anything? When you open up the discussion like that, 9 times out of 10, she's gonna do this. Oh my God. What? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't feel like there's anything wrong. Whole time, she just told you that your wig was lumpy and bumpy at the function. And then giggled after. I don't like it. So then you follow up with, oh, okay, well, I've just noticed that the energy has been very different. On a few occasions, I've noticed that you've made really rude remarks. On a few occasions, I've just noticed like when I'm doing, well, you're never there to congratulate me. I just don't really feel like this is a, two-sided friendship. It feels very one-sided. And that's how you handle that. If you want to be mature, okay? I'm gonna leave it up to y'all, but sometimes having these conversations, you can clear the air. Sometimes when a narcissist, aka Brooke, or whatever you want to call them, when they are caught on their own game, they will tighten up immediately. And sometimes they don't. And at that point, once you've had that discussion, I personally feel like it's grounds for getting cut off. And that's if you're patient. Because the old me, baby, I'm not even going to explain to you what you did. I'm just going to stop talking to you. Toxic, I know. I'm gonna leave it up to y'all. I do think though, for your own, I think regardless, your mental health comes first, period. So if this person is getting in the way of your mental health, you need to let them go, babe. They are not serving you. They are not doing anything good for you. You need to cut them off. And if that means blocking a number so they can stop harassing you, if that means literally telling them like, I do not want to be your friend anymore, and just not being around them anymore, so be it. You can still be cordial. Like if y'all are mutual friends in a group, you can still be in the same, you know, room as them, but you guys don't need to kick it on no one-on-one or even need to, you know, really be conversing at these places. That's my advice. You know, keep it cute, keep it classy. Don't ever let anybody take you out of your character. Been there, done that years ago, and it never ends well. In my older adult years now, I've just realized it's not worth it. Like, baby, there is just time is ticking. I mean, we got a fresh 24 and you blink and the 24 is over. So why would you waste your time worrying about somebody that brings you nothing but stress and unhappiness if you don't cut that girl off? Oh, okay, these next two are good because they kind of like bounce off of each other. So this next one says, how to genuinely move forward after a failed and toxic relationship. A girl is struggling. Oof, baby. No, I'm just kidding. If there's one thing that I could say to you, because I know how that feels. I know how it feels to be going through it after a breakup. Whether you left that person or they left you, it does not matter. Especially when you are in a toxic relationship and then you guys are no longer. What a lot of people don't realize is you actually start to become toxic. Why, you ask? Because you are now a product of that relationship. You most likely had to learn how to cope in that relationship. And in order for you to cope and thrive in a toxic relationship and a toxic environment, you must become toxic. And I know, no matter how much you want to deny it, no, oh, I'm not toxic, baby, take it from somebody that went through it. In order for you to just be at a level of peace, you almost become toxic. And this is what I mean. I don't mean you become exactly like the typical toxic portrayal that we see in the media and, you know, the futures and all. No, I mean, you have for example, a narcissist as a partner that is an attention seeker, that is all about them, me, I. And the only way that you know how to make them happy or to keep them in high spirits is to basically use a little bit of manipulation to converse with them, a little bit of manipulation to get them to do, you know, normal things. And that manipulation is toxic, believe it or not. So that's just a little example. But anyway, what I've learned is when you leave a toxic relationship, you inevitably are now toxic because you had to be so to thrive in that relationship, to survive rather in that relationship. The first piece of advice for me is to truly unpack everything. And I mean, strip it down, strip the entire relationship down to its core. If you have to cry, baby, if you have to sulk, if you have to take some time off from work, I know it sounds dramatic, but when you've really been through that, you will understand. Do that. You need to take all the time that you need to really unpack it and really release it off of you. The thing that has helped me the most when I went through my situation a while back was prayer. Now, I'm not going to assume everybody believes in God, but if you're on this channel, you already know I give everything that I have. I credit everything that I have to the man above. So I would be nowhere without him. And that is probably that was my number one savior after leaving a toxic relationship, was prayer and the Lord. Truly saying to God, like, I am a servant. I will do whatever you ask of me. Please help me through this. I am releasing these burdens and this stress off of me to you, Lord. Like, that's what he's there for. He wants us to unleash our burdens and our worries and the things that we are struggling with on a daily basis off to him, because he is the Almighty. Okay, I'm not here to preach, but I'm just saying he is the Almighty, and he is the Almighty for a reason. He is there to help you, to help us. get through anything. Literally, when they say no weapon formed against me shall prosper, it's so true. He would never have put you in that situation if he didn't know that you could get through it. Okay? And that's just a fact. One of the apps that helped me, it's called the YouVersion app. I will put, you know, the icon or whatever on the screen so you guys know exactly what app I'm talking about. It's a Bible app, but the nice thing about YouVersion is every single day it'll give you a notification, hey, check out the word of the day. You can actually expand on the word. You can actually read more into and understand exactly what the word means if you don't understand. There's a daily like video that goes along with that word. Very helpful, keeps me on track. It keeps me very focused because at the end of the day, God is my focus. I'm here to serve him and, you know, walk in his light. And so, yeah, I think that was the first thing that made a huge difference, is really releasing all of my burdens and all of my stress and all of my worry, everything that I've gone through onto God through prayer. Second piece of advice I would honestly say is get a therapist. If you are not already in therapy, I would 100% recommend starting therapy. Truly, having a licensed professional that can be there to help you unpack a lot of these things that you may be worried about, a lot of these doubts, a lot of these feelings and emotions that you don't know how to, what's the word, like sift through. They can be there to really help you understand why you feel the way that you do, why you handled a situation the way that you did, why you are the way that you are. I think that therapy is a huge helpful tool. Very underrated. I know that therapy has started to creep into, you know, the limelight here in the last year or two, but like still probably one of the most underrated things in my opinion. I think that sometimes we feel like, oh, just like talking with a girlfriend or my mom or my brother or whoever can help, when in reality a lot of these people are going through trauma themselves, or they don't even know how to begin to process what you've been through because they haven't lived it, they haven't been through it. And so I think that sometimes dumping your burdens on other people, even though you may not feel like it, they may not say that you are, that's essentially what we do when we, you know, say, hey, this is what's going on. Not to say that you cannot rely on friends. Do not, please listen to me closely, okay? Listen to me closely. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can, you know, rely on friends, family to help you through a difficult time and just to like vent to, but to get solid advice and to, you know, solid unbiased advice, I think that it's more beneficial to go to a therapist because they don't know you, you know. And even if you've been going to that therapist for years, they're not there to take your side. They're there to help you. Truly, to help your mind, to help your mental state. They're there to help you emotionally, mentally, sometimes depending on the type of the therapist that you have, spiritually even. And so they're not there to be nice to you just because you're their friend or you're their daughter or you're their sister. They are there to genuinely help you. And so I think therapy is a huge resource, underrated, super helpful. The next piece of advice to get over a toxic relationship is to move. And I know you guys are probably like, okay girl, like just because you moved to Houston, like, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes I think that depending on your situation, I'm not saying everybody should just, oh, I have a breakup, I'm gonna move across country. Like, no, but what I'm saying is change your environment. I think a lot of people, especially if you've been with somebody for years, you get very comfortable. Your friends are his friends are your friends. You guys go to the same coffee shops and the same restaurants and and sometimes you need a little bit of a change of environment. So this is what I'll say for the third piece of advice. A change of environment. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to move physically your home, but go on vacation. Go back home, visit your family. Go on a little weekend getaway. You know, do something different. If you want to get up and move across the country like I did, do that. But I do think a change of scenery really can help kickstart a reset. Like, I know when I was really going through my like I needed a reset, and like not just like a little ooh cutesy reset, like little we can get, like no, I needed a hard reset. Like I needed to wake up in a completely different place, a completely different environment, because I was like, I can't do this. Just changing that scenery can really give you clarity. It can give you a lot of peace, because you know, not everywhere that you go you thinking about this man. Oh, we used to get coffee at this place together. Oh, I remember we used to walk the dogs together here. Oh, like, girl, no. Get up at that bed. Do you see that man crying? What's that sound? I'm gonna play it.
I just want to know, do you think he in the bed crying saying he'll never love again? Exactly. Get your ass out that bed and put your shit on.
That's my advice. Change the scenery. Whether it's a little vacation, whether you moving. Get up, do something different. Last piece of advice for getting over a toxic relationship is dating yourself. Okay, dating yourself, finding out what you love to do, finding out what motivates you, finding out what you genuinely find joy in. I cannot stress this enough. A lot of women lose themselves in relationships for whatever reason. Like, one thing about a man, he's going to be selfish. He don't care. And I envy that. It's not a bad thing. Everybody needs to be selfish, because if I'm not filling my cup, how can I fill my partner's, right? If my cup is empty. So I think everybody needs a little bit of selfishness, but a lot of women, we lose ourselves in a relationship, especially when it's a toxic one, especially when you're dealing with a narcissist, for example. You can start to forget what you even like to do. Who am I? You need to start getting good with yourself, spending time with yourself, you know, taking yourself out on dates, taking yourself to the movies, taking yourself to eat, just getting cute, getting a little cute PJ set, getting a little fragrance and sitting in the house with a glass of wine, having a little movie night with yourself. Like, get close with yourself. Figure out what you like to do in your free time. Figure out what motivates you. Make a vision board, you know, set your goals, set your intentions. I think like all of these things are surrounding you. It's a me season, baby. It's a me season. We're not worried about no man anymore. Okay, it's time to elevate. It's time to really get in our bag, and it doesn't mean getting our bag financially. Okay, yes, that too, but really getting your bag meaning get in your bag. Get to the root of who you are. Get to know you. My camera died, sis. But yeah, like, just really get good with you. Find out what you like to do. Find out your hobbies. You know, even back to what I was talking about earlier with the whole Facebook groups thing, you know, get on Facebook. Find some local groups, some local things to do. There are so many solo date ideas on TikTok. Like, I know that sounds crazy, like you gotta search solo date ideas, but when you're really new to this game of like doing things on your own or dating yourself, essentially, you really can be confused. Like, okay, now what? Like, now what do I do? But like, babe, I promise you, the moment that you start to fall in love with yourself, as corny as it sounds, game changer. Everything that you want out of life starts to happen. Because, you know why? Because you are so in tune. You start to become so aware. Baby, can't nobody tell you nothing. Especially not no bum ass man. Very last one. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, babe. You gotta let that go. You gotta let it go. How somebody chooses to treat you is not a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of themselves and themselves only. Okay, I think that a lot of people needed to really hear that. You did not deserve what that person put you through. You didn't deserve it. And it's okay that you did not leave sooner. I wish you would have, but it's okay that you didn't. Because a lot of times when you're in a toxic relationship, you really don't even realize it's toxic. You don't. When you throw feelings in the mix, when you throw sex in the mix, when you some people have babies in the mix, when you throw a living situation in the mix, the lines start to get blurred very quickly. My man, I'm in love with you. Like, whole time, babes, you're fighting for your life. And it's not funny. It's like, it's laughable because I've been through it and I understand and I empathize with you. But I just want you to remember that you are worthy. You are beautiful. You are smart. And you deserve so much more. Stop blaming yourself for something that you did not ask for. Stop blaming yourself for not leaving sooner. Stop blaming yourself for decisions that you made in the past. Baby, it's over, okay? No more looking back, we're only looking forward. I love you. And just know that better days are coming. Piggybacking off of the dating question, the next one is breaking up with someone when God says to, but you don't know why. Baby. Woo! Because if it's one thing God's going to do, he's going to tell you. He's going to tell you. You just need to pay attention. This conversation is so deeply rooted, a lot of people don't even understand. You're wondering why you can't sleep at night. The whole time, that's God telling you, baby, get up at that bed. Get up at that man's house. You're wondering why you have not been able to eat for weeks, for months. The whole time, God is telling you that man is not serving you. You're wondering why you having a little itch that you can't scratch. You wondering why, because baby, I done heard some things, okay? You're wondering why you have that itch that you can't scratch. Every single week, every single month after you're getting treated and it keeps coming back. That's God telling you that man is not for you. I think the hardest part is actually realizing that it's God talking to you. A lot of us live in this delusional state where we are feeling like, oh, you know, if bad things happen or if things occur, they're just mishaps or they're coincidences. Whole time it's God saying, baby, listen to me. Listen to me. Remove yourself. Remove yourself. Remove yourself. So my thing to touch on with this subject, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, is just truly praying and getting close to God, because the closer you get to him, he will start to give you this gift of discernment that is so, I can't even put into words how much the gift of discernment has changed my life. Like, so what do people, you know, people say, oh, gut feeling, intuition, all that wrapped into one. Like, the gift of discernment comes straight from God himself. And the closer you get to him, he will reveal things to you in a prompt manner. And if you are not there yet, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. You know, you can just continue to pray, to continue to try to form a relationship with him. But what I will say is, even outside of just God, you need to just pay attention. Pay attention. Take things for what they are. Face value. Don't try to read between the lines. Don't try to make things out to be. Pay attention, baby. If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. If that man is shady, if that man is sleeping with his phone in his hand, if that man is, every time you come around him, you getting uneasy, if ever since you met him, your hair's falling out, I mean, the list goes on, baby, leave him. Okay. One more, because I've been talking for a little minute. One more, and we will do another one. Don't worry, we're gonna do another one. And also, if you have any suggestions, comment them down below. I want to hear your thoughts. If you have any comments about the things that I'm discussing, leave them down below, babe. I want to talk with y'all. So this is actually not really a topic. This is like a piece of advice. This one says, my long-term / long-distance boyfriend wants to abstain from sex until marriage. Advice? I'm nervous. Baby, I'm nervous too. I'm nervous too, because I don't want you to take this disrespectfully, but were y'all having sex at one point? Like, I need more context. I need more answers. Were y'all having sex at one point before this? Before, you know, y'all moved long distance? Or have y'all always been long distance? Have y'all never had sex before? Like, there's so many layers here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say y'all were having sex and then y'all moved separate, and now he has come to the realization that he wants to be abstinent for whatever reason. I don't know. It's not giving me good energy, good vibes. I'm sorry. This is what I'm saying. If y'all were always abstinent, but just how happen to now be long distance, baby, I would not worry. I have been in a long distance relationship before, and what I will say is they are difficult to maintain, and that's not me trying to be negative. I have seen people do it successfully, but I feel like they are difficult to maintain. What I will say is you need to be very headstrong and confident in the love and relationship that y'all have, and not let anything affect that. But at the same time, y'all gonna have to start traveling a little bit more often. If that means every other weekend, or if that means once a month, something so that y'all can really, you know, feel like y'all are there with each other. Because I don't even know. Somebody please comment down below some words of advice, because y'all are long term and long distance. Wants to abstain from sex until marriage. Advice: I'm nervous. I don't know, it's given like y'all used to have sex before. And if that's the case, I'm not saying, because people have a newfound way of how they want to go about, you know, things after years of having sex, and that's okay. But I just feel like the timing is weird. What's really going on? I don't know, babe. Y'all might have to have a sit-down conversation and really discuss why he wants to be abstinent now. I would personally need to get to the root of that. And if it's, you know, his walk with God, that's okay and that's fine, and I'm not against that. But it's hard. It's really hard for me to give you the best piece of advice in this situation, because I need more context. I'm sorry. Okay, last one, for real, last one. Finding your life purpose. I feel like this is such a good one. So there wasn't really a question, it was just more so a topic. So I guess I'll just touch on a little bit. I feel like everybody has a different purpose out of life. You know, everybody has different things that motivate them, push them, whatever. For me, truly, I have always felt, since I was young, like I was put on this earth to serve others. And I don't really mean necessarily actually serve others, but I mean impact people. I've always felt like that since I was young, like young. And I didn't really know what that feeling was. I couldn't really put it into words until I got a bit older and I started to get closer to God. And he revealed to me that my purpose was truly to serve others and to impact them. And, you know, there have been times that I have literally met a stranger, and in their first time of meeting me, having a discussion with me, they're literally bawling their eyes out, because they're like, whoa, I feel like I was meant to have this conversation with you. Like, that's what I mean when I say serve. I feel like you truly find your purpose the closer you get to him. When you do what he calls on you to do, afterwards, the fulfillment that you get, I feel like also reveals to you that that's truly your calling, that's truly your purpose. I was listening to the Know For Sure podcast with B. Simone, her best friend, Megan Ashley, and they had this man on there. I forget his name. Lord have mercy. Just a beautiful soul. I forget his name. I will put it on the screen if I can remember. He was talking about how he knows he's serving God because he does it even though he doesn't want to. And I said, whew, a word. That's how I feel. You know, there are days that I feel like, do I have to be the bigger person? Or do I need to share this story? Or do I need to have this discussion? But the fulfillment that I get afterwards, indescribable feeling. And that's how I know that I'm truly walking in his light, that I truly am walking in my purpose of serving others. Because even when I don't want to do it, I get so much fulfillment afterwards. So that's my experience with my life purpose. But you know, for others, obviously it's gonna look a little different. For others, it may take you a little while to figure that out, but what I will say is don't rush it. Don't beat on yourself too hard about it. It'll come to you when you least expect it. What I will say is I think sometimes stepping out of that comfort zone, stepping out of your normal routine, the normal things that you do, can also reveal to you a new purpose in life. Traveling, seeing the world, meeting new people, you know, can really help you tap into that purpose, tap into a whole different sector of life that you didn't even know was possible, that you didn't even know was meant for you. So keep that in mind. If you want to talk more about, you know, finding your purpose and things like that, we can in another Dessy discussion. But be more specific with what you want to talk about with that and how you want to navigate that conversation. But that's just kind of like how I feel like I really found my purpose, is the fulfillment that I got after I would, you know, connect with people, and after I would have these powerful, deep-rooted conversations with people. Even when I didn't feel like doing it at times, but I felt this calling from God to do so, to help somebody, to give somebody words of encouragement. The fulfillment that I got afterwards, I really found that, you know, my purpose truly is serving others. All right, so I don't want to get too long, but those are some of the topics that you guys have entered in. There are plenty others, so maybe I'll break this up into a part 1, part 2 on another day. But if you have any other topics that you guys want to talk about in the next Dessy discussion, please let me know down in the comments down below. And if you have made it this far in the video and you have not hit that subscribe button, baby, what are you doing? Join the gang. We are a big family. We would love to have you. I'm so happy that you're here, and I want you to stick around. If you also could give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed these topics. If you want to get into some other topics, like I said, leave me some comments down below. And yeah, y'all, I really love this. I love sharing knowledge. I love giving advice. I love just talking. Okay, I'm a chatty cat. You already knew that. So like I said, please let me know what else you want to talk about in the next Dessy discussion. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.